Welcome back with another banger. It's the React Files. Hope you're having a good night. If you haven't already, please take a second
just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell,
just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So let's get straight to it.
So Ring Doorbell was just sued, and those of you who possess a Ring Doorbell may be receiving part of a large multi-million-dollar settlement. If you didn't know, Ring Doorbell allowed its employees, the federal agents, contractors, and hackers access to customers' private information, y'all.
You have a Ring camera? Well, you may be getting some cash very soon.
It's all part of a multi-million-dollar settlement with the federal government. Fox 35's Marlisa Goldsmith live in our alert center with the details. Marlisa?
Manny and Luann, we're talking a settlement of $5.6 million between Amazon and the Federal Trade Commission. Now, the issue, privacy violations involving the popular cameras. If you are They are one of the most popular smart home devices on the market. Sales of Ring doorbell cameras topped 5 million in 2022. And now, some of those buyers are eligible for a slice of a multi-million-dollar payout. The Federal Trade Commission accused the Amazon-owned company of several violations. First, Ring allowed its employees and contractors to access customers' private videos. Second, the company failed to implement security protections, allowing hackers to take control of consumers' accounts, cameras, and videos. And finally, Ring allegedly used footage from cameras to train algorithms without any consent.
At least there is an indication of wrongdoing.
Security expert David Benson says the settlement actually highlights a bigger problem.
I think it's a step in the right direction, but whether or not there's enough teeth in this to deter it happening again, I'm not so sure. And I think better, proper regulation, as we're hearing all over, whether we're talking about platforms like TikTok or Snapchat, whatever it might be, there has to be some regulation. And right now at the federal level, there is zero regulation.
Ring just agreed to a $5.6 million settlement over those accusations. More than 117,000 Ring users are eligible for a refund of about $47. Ring released a statement saying that hackers stole emails and passwords from other companies to log into accounts of certain customers. Benson says there are things you can do to protect yourself.
People cannot be using the same password over and over again. It'll wind up on the dark web and with catastrophic consequences. So how can you protect yourself? Have two types of authenticity with your logins. Change it periodically and make sure you don't have duplications.
He also has concerns that Ring did not address the allegations of employees and contractors accessing footage without permission.
You just can't use other people's personal data. You have to ask permission. You have to protect it. And whether or not your customer is careless on their end, there's no excuse.
It never ceases to amaze me how they always put out these new type of technologies and people buy into it and they love it and then they purchase it, put it in their home, and then they find out that the government has been listening to them and watching them. And then, when they watch it like this, they're surprised. Oh, they've been watching? Yes, of course. They always want to know what's going on in your home and your house. The only place you're safe in is your head. And soon enough, Elon Musk is going to find out what's in there. Or so he think he is. You ever thought about something like a multi-million-dollar invention and then you see the government comes out with it? What do you think that's about? But yes, Ring Doorbell is being sued. If you are eligible, they said they will send this money to your PayPal. I don't know how they found this out, but obviously you must be connected to it. I don't have a Ring Doorbell, so I would not know. So this video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during these interesting times. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Please like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Keep up on me on my other accounts, especially on my YouTube, where I go deeper on the esoteric level at these topics at hand. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift. Peace in.
Let me tell you why Kendrick and a whole bunch of other major artists really don't like Drake. As you can see, Kanye said it pretty perfectly a couple years ago in a remix, saying, "Where's Lucian? Serve your master what? You caught a little bag for your masters, didn't you? Lifetime deal, I feel bad for what?" That would be this man right here, Mr. Lucian Grange. The reason why Abel Tesfaye, aka The Weeknd, is in the position of which he is. Which, let me say, this is for educational purposes only. But what if I told you there's a very dark history behind Lucian? That even Lucian himself has a puppet master. Let's keep in mind, Lucian is the chairman and chief executive officer of Universal Music Group. Oh yeah, the same exact one that's bringing its music back to TikTok. Let's keep in mind before I go any further though, Mr. Lucian Grange is under pressure from a lot of allegations. Allegations of sponsoring and financing every single one of P. Diddy's parties. Every single party of where P. Diddy's allegations in themselves originate from. Saying that Lucian aided and abetted Combs' behavior by sponsoring gatherings where underage girls were reportedly drugged and provided vast sums of money to Combs, who allegedly used it for what? But like I said, the music industry is very dark, and there's always another puppet master. This is Mr. Leo Cohen. How do you think Lucian Grange got that position to begin with? Oh, you guessed it, aka the tall Israeli. And of course, Leo Cohen is a global head of music at Google and YouTube. But this man is a very high authority figure in the music industry. Because let's keep in mind, Cohen worked on the label side of the music industry at companies including Warner Music, Def Jam, Island Def Jam, and 300 Entertainment. I do keep in mind, Leo Cohen in himself is somebody that Tupac and himself was sketched out about. And ironically, not even 2 years after Tupac's death, in 1998 and 1999, Cohen brokered the deal to sell Def Jam to Universal, creating the Island Def Jam music group, which combined Def Jam, Mercury, and Island Records. And as you can see at that time, artists under his watch at Island Def Jam included none other than Jay-Z, Bon Jovi, Ludacris, and Mariah Carey, just to name a few. All very sketchy artists, but like I said, Mr. Leo Cohen himself is the victim of many allegations, including from a CIA agent that confessed the agencies created rap music to fill private prisons. Mr. John Homestead, a retired CIA agent, has admitted on national Russian television that hip-hop was a psyop invented by the CIA in the 1980s, and the agency has directed and financed household name artists including NWA, Dr. Dre, Jay-Z, and Kanye West. Kanye tried to tell everybody about this years ago. And of course, nobody wanted to listen. But John Homestead said that our mission was to use teenage angst to our advantage and turn Generation X into a decadent, pro-drug, and anti-establishment culture that would create uprisings and further division within society, saying that the CIA even infiltrated mainstream radio to promote their music and reach millions of people every day. He also says when it comes to engineering culture, no one touches Leo Cohen. Homestead admitted Leo Cohen, also known as the tall Israeli who runs hip-hop, used specific artists like these, I'm sure everybody knows who all of these people are, to gain specific influence in society. See, like it says here, Cohen ended up promoting rappers such as Jay-Z and Kanye West, and more recently brought Migos and Young Thug to prominence. Well, obviously Kanye knew what he was talking about. But see, Kanye himself, alongside John Homestead, stated that the elites have been slowly working on eroding social norms for decades, and forcing famous black men to normalize the sight of men in dresses was a part of the agenda. And here's the thing, right? A music industry executive who was present at the first meeting between the CIA and music industry executives has written a confessional letter detailing exactly what went down on that fateful day, in a specific video that is no longer available online. Yeah, I'm sure that's not sketchy in itself, right? Or the fact that John Homestead said that the CIA worked in tandem with music industry elite to create a funnel in which young people would be indoctrinated with brainwash and gangster rap music, and then delivered to the highly profitable private prison system. In order to create this funnel, the CIA introduced music industry owners to the private prison industry. See, that's where Time Warner comes in, because let's keep in mind, like I stated at the beginning of this video, Leo Cohen himself was a very high authority figure at Time Warner. And as you can see, some of the biggest names in the music industry are in cahoots with private prison owners. And as you can see in 2021, CoreCivic, formerly known as Corrections Corporation of America, the biggest name in the private prisons industry, contacted 48 states offering to buy their prisons. See, there was one particular requirement of eligibility for the deal, saying that an assurance by the agency partner that the agency has sufficient inmate population to maintain a 90% occupancy rate over the term of the contract. And here's the sketchy part that this article paints very well, right? In the year 2012, a mere 232 media executives in the U.S. were responsible for controlling all avenues necessary to manufacture any celebrity and spark any trend. And of course, Time Warner, as the owner of Warner Brothers Records, can not only sign an artist, but since they are also the owners of Entertainment Weekly, they can also put an artist on the cover of magazines by next week. Like it says right here, you think you choose what you listen to, but do you really? Here's the most important part that this article paints very well. BET and MTV are owned by Viacom. When ownerships of these mass media conglomerates is cross-checked with the biggest names in private prison ownership, the largest owner of CoreCivic, like I just named, formerly Corrections Corporation of America, is none other than Vanguard Group Incorporated. The corporation that works very closely with BlackRock and Larry Fink. You know, the corporation who basically has the highest shares in every single major corporation that resides out of America? Yeah, that one. Vanguard is the #1 shareholder in both Viacom and Time Warner. Vanguard is also the largest holder in the GEO Group, the second largest owner of private prisons in the entire USA. Like it says here, the people who own the media and are responsible for putting gangster rap at the center of youth culture are the very same people who own private prisons. So you tell me why this deal is a problem. You tell me why major artists really don't like Drake, because I'm pretty sure it's obvious at this point. Drake is what you would call a sellout, and Kendrick truly knows how the industry runs. But you keep allowing yourself to be consumed by those frequencies.
That sounds like a rabbit hole right there. Shout outs to Beauty Mark. Yeah, a lot is coming out. Those two brought a lot of attention to the world over the last weekend, so naturally, irony in all of that. Was Kanye right?
a biological entity from another planet per se.
What we're looking at here is something that can literally move interdimensionally.
It's extraterrestrial, looks very, very close to something from another dimension.
So I wouldn't call them aliens. I really like what Grush calls them. He says that they're interdimensional beings.
It could be something that is extra or hyperdimensional. Now, I don't mean extra dimensional in a woo-woo sense. I mean extra dimensional in a quantum physics sense.
I don't look at this and think ET. I look at these as displacement craft that are coming from parallel realities.
Grush never said extraterrestrial or alien. He said interdimensional. I think that that's incredibly important.
UFOs are real and aliens are real, but they're not from outer space. They're interdimensional and potentially fallen angels disguising themselves because they're liars of something, like you said, can't be proven or disproven.
Shoplins. These strange alien entities could be found dwelling in the cliffside above Sitka, Alaska. Known for their exceptionally long lifespan, Shoplins remain in adolescence until about age 30 and live to 180 years on average. Shoplins spend the majority of their lives as flightless creatures, learning to scramble and climb among the steep rocks of their home at a young age. Only at about age 120 do elder Shoplins fully develop the anatomy necessary for flight. Shoplins primarily feed on insects and smaller birds, but have been known to venture down into the nearby city to scavenge among the trash of residents. If one encounters a Shoplin, simply scold it in a low-pitched voice while making disapproving gesticulations. Shoplins find this rude and will promptly scurry or fly away. If the Shoplin emits a high-pitched screech while fleeing, quickly cover your ears. This high-decibel defense tactic could cause severe hearing damage. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
Were you guys aware of a city called Jharia in India? It's also known as the Burning City, and it's nothing but coal under there, and the coal is now on fire. Apparently this has been going on over a century, but it looks like it's getting a little worse now because the children, this is how they have to survive. Look at that, y'all. This is how they have to survive. They have to go get coal in order to make a living. This is not an ideal place to live amongst, especially as children, because inhaling coal can definitely have some detrimental side effects when it comes to breathing. You can and will experience all kinds of respiratory issues, y'all. So yeah, they are watching it to make sure that everything is all right, because you know, with everything that's happening in the earth right now, the volcanic action, the magma action, we have no idea. The earth is unpredictable right now, and this is why they are sharing this story, because they have no idea what's going to happen with this, because it's getting harder and it's getting more unbearable to stay over there, y'all. Wow. So I'm just letting you know what's going on around the world, y'all. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during this interesting times. But let us know what you guys think about this video. Like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift. Peace in.
Yo, that's crazy. There's no other way around it. Whether you're a kid or an adult, to live on a foundation that's on fire or got the possibility of just going up, it's not a good look.
Let's talk about this creepy video that's going absolutely viral on TikTok right now. The Appalachian Mountains video. So many of you guys were sending me the link to this video, and I made the mistake of watching it at night. So let's break it down. The video was posted on March 19th by user Dustin Lee Frazier, and it's already at 17.6 million views and 1.9 million likes. And everybody in the comments is terrified. And in the video, Justin describes that they were Snapchatting their friend as they were at work alone in the Appalachian Mountains. But they say that when they replayed their Snapchat video, they found something terrifying. Like, let me just show you a little clip of it, and then we're gonna break it down, okay? Here it is.
I felt bad. Honestly, it's less like a little bit. I felt bad. And I don't know, I just, like, I feel like I need to go to a doctor, but, like, I'm constantly just, like, nauseous, and I don't really know why. Like, I have tried to, like, take medicine for it and stuff, but I don't know, it doesn't seem like it really does anything. And then whenever I go and I'm just, like, laying down and stuff, like, I can sleep, and whenever I sleep, it's like I don't, like, get rest, you know what I mean?
So if you didn't catch it, it's this face right here. But aside from that terrifying face, people also mentioned that they heard whispering. People believe that it's a SW. Reading the comments right now, and someone said, pretty sure it's attached to you, like no joke. Listen, Dustin, I don't know if you're playing a prank on us, but this isn't funny, okay? I don't want to believe that there can be beings like that. But what do you guys think? Is this real? Is this fake? Let me know.
Breaking UFO news. A large metallic silver sphere has been found on a local farm in Australia, leaving everyone intrigued. This sphere, with a diameter of approximately 4 to 5 feet, displays no signs of how it arrived or where it came from. MUFON director Roger Stankovic released a statement exploring the possibility that it could be a Lincoln calibration sphere, similar to the LCS-1. Launched into orbit in 1965, the LCS-1 is a hollow aluminum sphere designed to calibrate ground-based radars. Interestingly, there are no tire marks or landing impressions or any crash debris near this sphere. And in fact, at the time of the photo, the witness was too nervous to get any closer to this object. It does look eerily similar to the spheres that have been filmed in recent years near military installations. Could this be a non-human intelligently controlled UAP sphere? Or is it something man-made like an LCS-1 that has fallen to the Earth? What do you think?
Heather Witches. This coven of veiled metallurgist women reside in the Heather Woods near Montauk, New York, practicing an astrologically focused form of eclectic Wicca. The Heather Witches find spiritual fulfillment in the stars and their elemental properties. They believe that the Mother Goddess forged all precious metals in a heavenly furnace and that these materials as found on Earth are holy relics. For this reason, Heather Witches place special focus on the creation and exhibition of fine jewelry. Self-forged chains and ornaments adorn their wardrobe and hang from their shrines. These pieces represent a deep connection to the stars, Earth, and entirety of the universe. Their veils are thought to encourage a collective connection to their surroundings and the souls of one another. Ministry researchers suspect that the coven has access to a hidden network of caves that lead to private ore veins. The Heather Witches have no desire to leave their humble wooded home despite their high net worth. This has been a public service announcement from the Ministry of Latent Places.
Shout outs to Latent Places. Hey, if you're in Montauk, New York, stay out the woods.
One night, this guy Ryan, he's out walking 3 dogs. Now he's a dog walker, so he's walking them for a client. And then suddenly, boom, a car pulls up and 2 men jump out. And one of them punches Ryan in the face and another tries to choke him because they're trying to steal the dogs. But Ryan, he doesn't want to let the dogs go, so he fights back. And then one of the men pulls out a pew-pew and then bang, he shoots Ryan in the chest. And Ryan falls to the ground while the men grab 2 of the dogs. And they jump in their car where a 3rd man is driving and the 3 of them speed away. And they leave Ryan for dead, bleeding out on the sidewalk, and he's still clutching the 3rd dog while he gasps for life. Now one of the robbers is this guy, Jalen. And Jalen and his friends had got this plan to drive around Los Angeles looking for French bulldogs to steal so that they can sell them for thousands of dollars. This is why they attacked Ryan. But the next day, after they had stolen the dogs, Jalen comes across a social media post. And it shows a picture of the 2 Frenchies he took, and it says they're missing. And that there's a reward to anyone who finds them and returns them. But here's what else the post says. The dogs Jalen took actually belong to Lady Gaga. Not only that, the reward she's offering, $500,000. So Jalen's like, holy shit, jackpot, I gotta get this reward money. Now, he can't return the dogs himself and collect the money. No, that would be too suspicious. So he goes and gets his dad involved. Now, his dad is also kind of a turd, and his name, and I'm not making this up, Lil Porky. Now, unfortunately, Lil Porky has a previous criminal record, so he can't return the dogs either. So, they go and get someone who won't look suspicious. Lil Porky's girlfriend, this woman, McBride. So McBride plans to pretend that she found these dogs abandoned on the side of the road, and she's gonna return them and collect all that reward money. So then 2 days later, after the dog napping, one of them drops the dogs off at a random location, and they tie them to a street pole. Moments later, McBride just happens to be nearby and finds the dogs. Oh, what a coinkydink. She then gets the dogs and takes them to the police station and starts asking about that Lady Gaga reward money. And now police, they immediately get suspicious. And they check the surveillance footage of the area where McBride said she found the dogs. And on the footage, they see a car pull up and someone gets out and ties the dogs to a pole. So police, they run the plate on this car and they find that the car is connected to a man named Harold White. aka Lil Porky. So police, they look up Lil Porky's Instagram and his Facebook page, and they see that he's in a relationship with McBride, the very woman who found the dogs. Now, police already have a few suspects who they feel might have been involved in the dog napping. One of those suspects being Jalen. And of course, they investigate and see Lil Porky is Jalen's father. So they arrest all of them. McBride, Lil Porky, Jalen, the other two men involved. Now, they all get in trouble, but McBride, she actually ends up taking a plea deal, and she only gets 2 years probation for this scheme. Oh, but she's not done. Then McBride gets an attorney, and she sues Lady Gaga for that $500,000 reward money, arguing that Lady Gaga's post promised anyone reward money who returned the dogs, no questions asked. And she returned the dogs, so she feels like she's entitled to that money. And on top of that, McBride sues her for another $1.5 million, claiming pain and suffering, mental anguish, and loss of enjoyment of life as a result of not being paid the initial reward money. Luckily, the judge is sane, and pretty quickly she's like, this lawsuit's bullshit, and she throws it out. So anyway, Jalen ended up getting 4 years in prison. Other dog napper got 6 years in prison. I actually couldn't find Lil Porky's sentence, so I don't know. But the guy who actually pulled the trigger and shot Ryan, he got 21 years in prison. While Ryan, the hero of the story, he got rushed to the hospital. And he ended up having a collapsed lung and a bunch of complications. But he did survive, he did get through it, and he appears to still be working with dogs. Good for him. Shout out to Bad Romance.
Check this out, y'all. Can y'all see that? Do y'all see this black line over here in between these white lines? I don't know, it looks weird, but this was sent to me from Las Vegas, Nevada. Okay, check this out. Here is another angle of it. It looks like it's going directly to this mountain, right? Hold on. Here is another. Look at that. Here's another. Now this guy, he got out of his car because he's like, wait, am I seeing things correctly? But what is that? It's a dark shadow, huh? It's a dark ray. Could that be coming from the black sun, y'all? Could that be coming from there? What is that about? And here's another view right here. Look, check this out. Look, you see? And then you see like a DNA strand coming out of the sky with the clouds, the quote unquote clouds. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, look at that. Where is this coming from? Where is that coming from, bro? Look at this. And it's hitting right there on the mountaintop, huh? That is so weird. That is so weird. Look, is this another one right over here? Y'all see that? Y'all see that, right? Wow. So yeah, if anybody knows what's going on in Las Vegas, Nevada, please let us know down in the comments, because this is weird. Like, where is this coming from? Where is this ray coming from? I mean, telling y'all, get ready. Get on your spiritual stuff and get ready, because there's a lot of things that you're going to start seeing that are not going to make sense, and it's going to make people go crazy. And I'm talking to the awakened ones, you know what I'm saying? The awakened ones who aren't ready for this, please get into your spiritual bag. This video is strictly for entertainment purposes only. I am only raising awareness to interesting situations during this interesting times. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Please like, comment, and share for more videos like this. Thank you for tuning to my frequency. Let's get this shift. Peace in.
Shout out to Conscious Juice. Yo, what was that black line? Like a circle on the mountain over there. At least I thought it was a mountain. I know Nevada's known for that mountain. I like how he said, yo, get in that spiritual bag, you know? That was pretty tight. There was a clear distinction between the chemtrails and that black line. So, what do you think it was? Let me know in the comments down below.
250 billion years ago, an event took place in the Lyra star system, the cradle of Lyra, with the Christos founders races, the races from Stargate 11, the Guardians of Avion Gate 11, and the Guardians of Gate 10, which is Vega Lyra, began to war with each other because both of them suffered code convolution. The Omicron Draconian races, who were of the Seraphim, were the Gate 10 Guardians, and a particular group out of the Giovanni entity of Elohim were the Guardians of Gate 11. Both of them were getting a bit out of hand as far as taking a free will concept and literally turning it in on itself and becoming authoritarian. Because free will and authoritarian dictatorship do not go hand in hand. They are in direct opposition. Both of them began to play that game with each other. And after a while of the D11 Elohim pushing the Draconians around, the Draconians managed to evolve in a certain way that they were a bit stronger. So they began to take back territory. They began to push back. And at this point, the Elohim commissioned High Council, which were the ones who were guardians, the Elohim, the Elohai Elohim, who were guardians of Gate 12, and they said, these guys are out of control. We want you to destroy them. And we said, excuse me, we don't destroy anybody. By the way, did you notice that you've been out of control for a while too? Why don't we all sit down and figure out how we can help both of you heal? They didn't like that answer. They threatened High Council that if you don't destroy them, we'll destroy them. And not only that, we will destroy your gate and you as well, and we will take over the Matrix. That was a very sick decision to make. It was a choice that was made because they had an idea. These were Creator God people. These were Elohim that knew just almost as much as the other Elohim. They knew that if Source could create using the template that we talked about yesterday in the dance floor programs, where you have 15 spheres, well, what if you took just 7? They knew there was a way to bend the mathematics, which would bend the light and the sound and the scalar waves into a form that could actually repel itself and cut itself off from the natural matrix. It would still exist within the entire matrix, but it would be their own system. They decided they wanted to turn this time matrix into that, which was a direct violation of something called the Emerald Covenant. The Emerald Covenant was the original agreement that the Giannis Ascended Masters agreed upon when they decided to create this time matrix together. It was a free will system, and it was built upon the law of one, which is acknowledgement that we are all of the same source, and that loving co-creation is the only sane and natural way of being in an understanding of yourself as part of the one. That was the original tenets and precepts by which this matrix was created. The Elohim of Gate 11 decided that they were going to do it different. They were going to break that covenant, and they were going to destroy the races who wouldn't cooperate with them, and they were going to take it over and run it their way. The only thing standing in their way of doing that were the Elohai Elohim of Gate 12. They could dominate the things lower in coding than them. They could, when push came to shove, use their ability to run higher frequency because they had the D11 coding. The Seraphai Seraphim had D10 coding. So they could, if they wanted to, use that superiority and ability to run frequency to get rid of the draconian races. But they would have a hard time doing it to get rid of the Elohai Elohim races because they had D12 and higher capacity. But there is a way to turn the natural physics of creation in on itself. If you can think of the Cathara grid and the Stargate systems as a conduit of energy, and when energy is coming into the matrix, it spirals down through the primal light and sound fields into D12 and then D11, 10, 9, 8. Now, if you block energy at Gate 11, the energy is still coming in through 12, but it bounces back. And it creates a backflow that amplifies. So you can, and it was theoretic at that point, theoretically, you could sever the connection at Gate 12 and have Gate 11 and down be your own little universe if you wanted to hijack it. That was their idea. It worked. And there was a choice that the Elohai made. There was a choice to defend or to allow. Now the Elohai knew that they were eternal. Death isn't something that frightened them. They were completely beyond that. They knew that if they were to defend themselves, because they had superior power capacity, that those who attempted to destroy them would literally have the energy bounce back at themselves and literally wipe them out and the systems they were connected to. It would not only take out the Elohim that were posing the challenge, it would take out the Seraphai Seraphim, both the fallen ones, and a group called the Odedicron. The Odedicron were a race of Seraphai Seraphim who had co-governance over Stargate 10, Vega, with the Omicron Draconians. The Odedicrons were the reptilians. There was a difference between the Draconians and the reptilians. The Draconians were the dragon moth people. They were the dinoids. They created dinosaur-like, as opposed to snake-like, as opposed to smaller reptilian. The Omicron dragon moth dinoids were fully involved in the competition for the time matrix. They knew what the Elohim were going to do, and they decided they would do it too. They didn't petition for help. They said, fine, we'll both get rid of them, and then we'll go after each other and see who gets the matrix. But the Odedicron, the reptilians, didn't want to play the game. They were stuck in the Gate 10 system, and they petitioned for help. But because you had Gate 11 and the Elohim in the middle, in between Gate 12 and Gate 10, we weren't able to rescue or get the Odedicron out. So if the decision to defend by simply putting up a shield around Gate 12 was chosen, it would have taken out both Gate 11 and Gate 10, which could have been repaired. It would have taken a long time, but it could have been repaired using Gate 12. But those consciousness that were in those systems would be fragmented back to space dust. They'd still be part of God, as I've said. You can never be not part of God. But races that had beautiful potential, and they'd already come a long way in their evolution. They'd evolved from 950 billion years ago to 250 billion years ago. That's a lot of evolution. And they had reached wondrous things in their own right in certain ways. It was primarily because of the Odedicron, of the reptilians, that the founders chose to allow, knowing they were taking a burden onto themselves. But it was the only way that if they allowed it, they would slowly be able to heal it. They knew a black hole would be created if this were allowed. They tried to talk them out of it, but they didn't want to listen. The Elohim did not want to listen. Instead of defending themselves, they allowed the Elohim to back up Gate 11 and reverse it. And that created a backflow, and it literally shattered the divine blueprint and blew up the stargates in Lyra Aramatena. That would have to be reassembled later using the D13 and higher primal light fields to reset the pattern. It created a black hole system. That black hole system came to be known as Phantom Matrix. Phantom Matrix was originally a part of this time matrix. Phantom Matrix started with simply part of the D11 Avion gate and what was that planetary system or star system, and the D10 Vega Lyra system. But it grew much bigger than was ever intended. When the Phantom Matrix was created by the Anu Elohim, they came to call themselves the Anu Elohim. The Giovanni entity hadn't fully fallen. A portion of that entity had fallen. And because of that, it sent another portion of itself into the matrix to try to rescue the part of itself that had fallen. That was a risky thing to do because, again, it comes down to how much energy is on which side. Normally, an entity would put X amount of itself into the matrix at one time. Well, it already lost a big chunk of itself, so it put more of itself in. And
that's a wrap. I hope you enjoyed tonight's rabbit hole. Before we go, I want to give a huge shout out to Ty on becoming the channel's newest member. Thank you, Ty. I appreciate your support. Peace and blessings. I want to give a special shout out to Be More 8 Gremlin. I see you, big dog. I appreciate your support. Keep locking in. And if you haven't already, please take a second just to smash that like, subscribe, ring that notification bell, just to make sure the algorithm knows what's up. So what we gonna do, y'all? That's right. Run these numbers up. Thanks again. Until next time.